Hey guys, a little update on my crowding issue where the corals are getting a little too close to each other. Um, as you can see, I did a little cleaning. Let's zoom in over here first. It's very difficult to break anything away here because they're both so brittle, but you can see these two birds' nests are actually growing into each other. And that rainbow stylo that's growing into the green one there, it was actually two frags that grew in and became one. I placed them next to each other. But you can see the other side, I broke away a little bit because it was crowding my green slimer, and I'm really excited to see where that's going. Got a big aptasia in there. That's like record size, bro. Also got some blue clove polyps on the rocks right there. I don't even remember having them there. They're on the back of that rock, so it's kind of cool how things just kind of start growing. But yeah, I broke away this pointy bird's nest here because again, I like that acro there. I grew that from a very small frag, so I'm excited how many branches it has. I want to see where it's going. If you look down in this hole where the stylo used to be, you'll notice the base is completely covered with polyps now, and it's starting to grow a new piece of stylopora. So that's pretty cool. And there's the old colony in the back there. Also have a frag of it up on the frag rack and another piece on the other frag rack. So yeah, as you start to move things and break little pieces off, you start to get frags. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, there's another frag rack. Look how big the leather coral's getting. But this is where all the clove polyps were crowding this Montipora. And I was on a live stream when I was doing it. I was actually cutting the rock with a saw and then chipping it away with a chisel and a mallet. I had that out of the tank, obviously. I lost a few pieces off of that as well. That colony was bigger towards the right. So there's a piece of it there. So again, I have frags. I don't know if I'm going to bank them with another reefer or just keep them in another location in the tank. But if somebody wants a piece of that, it'd be nice to bank it with somebody. And there's the red planet from Sabella. Still settling in. I don't know if it likes that area yet. It had a lot better polyp extension when I got it from him. But, you know. And there's the bubble gums doing really good. The red Monty's really starting to play it out now. I notice a little more every week. So I know they're quick growers, but this was one that I was struggling with. And my little war coral and Favites garden. Bubble coral's getting ready for lights out. You can see all the little feeders and stingers are coming out. Oh, and look up there. I had all of those pallies on the back glass, and I tried to try my luck at fragging them, and I found that it's kind of like cutting water balloons with a razor blade. So I figured it was a big mess, but I continued to glue them onto the frag plugs, figuring, I could throw them all out in the next morning. But they are looking good. So there's 10 Harvest Moon pallies ready to rock. You'll see the meteor shower and the rainbow Monty almost just about ready to touch and see who's going to win. Yeah, poor rainbow stylo caught right in the middle, or pink stylo up above there. And there's the Julian's golden gorgonian. I just placed it on a rock. Here's something I've been talking about on the live stream. This is called a walking Duncan. How cool is that? It's a little Duncan frag, and it's got a little base that it's growing on, and in that base lives a peanut worm. So it moves around on the sand bed throughout the day. I haven't actually seen it in motion. I hear it's very slow, but every time I look in there, it's someplace else. And there's my blue sponge in all its glory. So these birds' nests are just kind of, I don't know. I've got two of them. They take up a lot of room. Oh, and I added another PP8 because as I was moving things around, I noticed little patches of hair algae in between the rocks and the aptasia, and obviously there was some detritus buildup. So I figured we'd add a little more flow. Does anybody know what kind of wrasse that is? He puts in the work, boy, but I don't know what he's called. Always working. Well, if anybody knows, let me know down in the comments. That would be cool. There's the bubble tip. That's one side of the bubble tip. You can see it's looking good. And in the back there, you can't see, in a crevice in a rock is a very small bubble tip. So I think it finally did split. I'll have to see how I'm going to get it out of there. And I'll get that over to Miss Risa. There's my little rockazos. See how the purple ones with the brown outer rim, they really took over. So you got to be careful when you're putting them on rocks like that. Acans are doing good, but I had to move this acan down here because it was right next to that big rock and there's a big aptasia sticking out. So I figured it was going to sting him, but when I moved him, he shrunk all up, you know. I don't think he was getting stung, but I just didn't want him to get stung. So I've got him on a large disc, but when I moved him, the sand got on the disc. So I think it looks more natural than a big disc sitting there. And the squamosa clam. He's doing really good. I was worried that he wasn't extending his mantle to the edge of the shell, and then I noticed he started another flute. So he does have it to the edge of the new flute. So he's growing. I'm keeping him alive. He responds to light. So I guess he's doing good. And that candy cane almost glows in the dark. Now here's the hammer. I also got the clove polyps off of that rock too. That's when I had the clove polyps. Right after I put the rock back in. You can see how many heads that actual hammer coral has on it. And see the little green dot right in the middle of all the branches? Yeah, that could be a new head. I've never seen them come out like that. But it's cool. I thought you guys would like to see what it looks like. See the stingers coming out of this white hammer or green hammer? That's what was beating away the clove polyps and chasing them up towards the Montipora there. Got a few little acrofrags for this area that was opened up here. It's not doing the color justice. It's just looking like a green or a light green yellow, but it's actually, I see other colors in there in person. So we'll see what they turn into. And I got to move my purple stylo back onto the rocks because he's growing like crazy on the frag rack, and I just want him basing out on an actual rock, not a frag plug. So before I go, I guess I'll bring you guys over to the 55. A lot of you have been asking about the macroalgae. I did a Dr. Tim's recipe for success to eliminate cyano. Got rid of the cyano, but now what you're seeing is a golden hairy diatom bloom. There's a longer term for it and a longer name like everything else in this hobby, but it is really just diatoms all stacked up. They can create different shapes, so it's this hairy mess, and we'll get that under control next. But other than that, algae is all kind of hung in there through all of this. So thanks for watching, and it was fun hanging out with you guys. It's always a pleasure, but you know what, now I'm going to bed, so good night.